Good. Yeah. All right. We're on. We are on. Once I get this going. Here we go. Danny Stevenson, welcome to the Back Bone podcast. Stoked to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. No, I'm psyched. It's actually one of the first people I ever wanted to have you on the podcast with. And I guess it was sick when you were hanging out with Johnny last week in the background.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah.
To get to meet up with him again. It's been ages.
Yeah. It was cool to have him here. Yeah, I guess dive straight into it, because the reason I wanted to have you on for a couple of reasons. One, you're just a badass dude, and I think everyone knows that. But you've kind of been, I feel like, a little bit battling in the shadows some of the things that has happened to you over almost the past 18 months, you'd reckon?
Yeah, almost like a year and a bit.
Yeah, a year and a bit, yeah. Yeah, well, I guess that would be one of the things that I want to speak about just straight off the bat, to be honest. Like, do you want to lay down the recent story?
Well, in April last year, kind of stacked my mountain bike and ruptured my spleen, and then it all just went downhill from there. So we just went to the hospital, and then they sent me home pretty much straight away.
Yeah, what, with a ruptured spleen?
Yeah.
Or did it far out?
So they did an X-ray, and there's nothing really wrong. Go back to work pretty much. So I went back to work.
Far out.
And then, about a week later, I was still getting pains and stuff. So I was like, Tommy, man, I've got to go back to the hospital. It's getting pretty bad. He's like, yeah, no worries. Kept going back to the hospital. This time I went to the Calvary and got a CT scan. And then it showed like a little tear in the spleen.
Yeah, right.
And this was around the time Act Jam was going on as well.
Yeah. So just from what I can remember, so you were riding your mountain bike a fair bit, doing Ks and stuff, hey?
Yeah,
like
just to get a bit of...
Just get fit.
Yeah.
Because I remember you went onto a bit of a bit of a health kick, I guess. You were putting in Ks quite a lot with the mountain bike, and looking after yourself. I remember you lost some weight, and everyone was like, far out, Danny's looking good.
Yeah, well, it was all kind of lining up, because it was coming towards the end of my apprenticeship, and once you get signed off, that's it really. You pretty much just set yourself up from there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be fit and ready after that, and then all this just kind of snowballed.
Yeah.
But so I had the spleen tear, and then the hospital just kept sending me home. They just weren't checking me enough, really. And then just started getting real gnarly fevers, and started growing these weird lesions on my back.
Yeah, wow.
And then I kind of was in hospital for a long time.
Yeah. Well, let's just rewind a little bit so you came off your mountain bike, went to the hospital. I feel like, just from my memory, and I can't quite remember it obviously as good as you did, but you told you're okay. Was Act Jam before or after you went to hospital again?
It was in between.
Yeah, in between, that's right, yeah. Because I thought that you'd actually gone to hospital on one of the days of Act Jam.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And Tama picked me up from the hospital, and I went straight to Tuggeranong just so I could
just
see.
to hang out.
Yeah, just to hang out.
Yeah. Okay, so you were at Western because I remember specifically you were riding at Western, and then someone said that you'd gone to hospital or something. Because
Yeah. Well, I was feeling like still pretty sore, but I really wanted to ride. Yeah, one of my mates, Clem, was just like, you should do a turn down over the spine. I was like, oh, I can't really do that.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm in too much pain, and I kind of just sat down and watched everyone ride, but I still had a sick time.
Yeah.
Then that night, it was just too much, and then went back to the hospital, and then,
Yeah, far out. Yeah, so, because I remember, I remember when you were at the Act Jam, I could be getting this timeline completely wrong, but I feel like, okay, so for me, I'm just going to rewind a little bit further again. You moved to Canberra, shredding. I started riding for Wethepeople. It was very like condensed and sort of all over the place. But I started riding for Wethepeople in June or something of 2020. And I remember thinking, far out, I'd love to have a team rider, like a mate that rode for Wethepeople as well.
Yeah.
And I hit up the dudes from Wethepeople in Germany, and they seemed all about it. You know, I was singing your praises. And then you got, I guess, hooked up before Act Jam, is that right?
Before.
Before. Because did you not have the patrol frame at Act Jam or no?
I had it then.
Yeah.
And that was when problems started happening. Like, it's pretty much as soon as I got put on.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was, obviously, it would have been probably pretty frustrating for you at the time.
Oh, massively.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, I was so psyched for you, and I felt like it was a long time coming. Not that you know, I think you rode for Sabrosa for a little bit, potentially, or did you ride for 666, or?
I'd never rode for them. They helped me out a bunch.
Like okay.
Scotty Greentree.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I wasn't really on any particular team.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was really psyched for you that Dave at Wethepeople was like, yeah, let's put Danny on and make something happen. And then I was really psyched for you, and it was obviously really well deserved. And we started talking about like we can film a video together and things like that. And then the whole Act Jam thing went down, which was just that, you know, I remember you'd crashed. I was disappointed for you because I knew that you were like pretty hyped up that you just got like.
Yeah, I was put on and I was at like peak Stevenson, like that.
Yeah, that's right, peak Stevenson.
Dude, I was just like from peak to the worst I've ever been in a matter of a week.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, man, frustrating. And then
super frustrating.
So then you were, you went back to hospital, you went to a different hospital, and then they found, so you didn't know you had a torn spleen still when you were riding at Western? You just essentially thought you were fine, or? I
knew I had the slight tear when I was riding Western.
Okay.
And then, after that, Arthur took me back at about 2:00 that morning. Just woke up with pains again.
Yeah.
But then, so was in the Calvary for about a week because they were trying to get me in to Woden Hospital. There was a bed block. So, like, I was just in the Calvary, not really getting cared for, and I was just deteriorating.
Yeah, wow.
Probably didn't help the situation.
Yeah. So when you say you were deteriorating, what was happening?
Pretty much my immune system started shutting down or overreacting. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it started working overtime, so it just started attacking itself, like the blood vessels. And then it's a disease called vasculitis, which they kind of found out. They didn't really find out what caused anything, but they've just figured out that it was vasculitis somehow.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, you're not a doctor.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to know, Danny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far out, man. I've got so many questions. So you're in hospital. This stuff all went down. Like your body started attacking itself because it obviously thought that there was something wrong with itself. So rather than thinking it was foreign disease or like an infection or something, it attacked itself, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then so they put me on some infusions called infliximab. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but I was on that for about a week, and then it wasn't really working. So then they started me on chemotherapy, like a half dose of that. And then, I'm still undergoing chemotherapy. I've got one infusion to go, and then they'll do a repeat CT scan to see if it's fixed it. And then if it hasn't, they'll continue chemo until it's gone, until I go into remission. But if it isn't, then I'll be able to get off the chemo and probably be on medication for the rest of my life. But
if it hasn't gone?
If it hasn't gone, yeah.
Yeah, right. Far out.
Just immune suppressors and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so that... And, I mean, that sounded... Just so everyone knows and is clear, like, that's been you've been battling with this for how long? Like, until you got on chemo, how many times were you going in and out of hospital?
Probably about 6 months now. Yeah.
And you were just going, you
every
were good
3 weeks.
Yeah, right. Far out.
Yeah.
Because you'd kind of come good for a little bit, hey, and then you'd go back into...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So about a day and a half after the infusions is just like bedridden.
Yeah.
And then you come good. It's just kind of like a crazy wave.
Yeah. And before that, before the chemo, so then what we, like, just to back up a little bit, what was happening before the chemo? So you were on that drug that I don't know how to pronounce it.
Infliximab.
Yeah.
So, like, if I didn't take that, then I couldn't breathe, really. Like, my lungs would just not work.
Yeah,
it was super hard. Like, I had to go back a few times just because I couldn't breathe and stuff.
Far out.
But that was probably the hardest shit.
Yeah. And then was that the stuff you were telling me you had to get like an approval for a particular type of drug?
The doctor had to get approved or a grant or something because it was like 10 grand for the infusions.
Yeah, right.
For the course or something, but yeah.
For that infliximab stuff, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And then that just wasn't really working.
That wasn't working enough, and the doctor decided try chemotherapy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so during this whole time, so you've had this spleen issue. I remember at one stage the doctors kind of discounted that spleen issue because you started having worse issues or something like that. Was that?
Yeah, that's right. They just kind of like, there's more serious stuff going on. Let's investigate that, and just did a bunch of tests and biopsies and stuff, and like nothing was showing up.
Yeah, right.
And that's why I was in the hospital for so long.
Yeah, sure.
They just couldn't figure out what was happening.
So the was it called vasculitis?
Yeah.
So is that what you have currently, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's pulmonary vasculitis.
Okay.
On my lungs.
Yeah. Right.
And I get like a rash and stuff every now and then, like
sure.
flare up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Far out. And that's why they've tried to do a bunch of stuff, and then they've landed on chemotherapy as like a way of dealing with
right.
it.
Yeah.
And so, like, to bring this back to, I guess, BMX, Not that this isn't BMX, this is your life, but you know, you were dealing with all this stuff, but could you still ride BMX at the same time?
Luckily, yeah. Like, I was kind of scared that I wasn't going to be able to ride, so it kind of made me ride a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I just didn't want to lose that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had like a weird drive to want to ride more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's commendable, dude. Like honestly, I've been really surprised that you've been riding, and I'm like motivated and inspired by how positive you've kept during this whole thing, because like people don't understand, like it's been a long time of you mainly being in the hospital and mainly being sick, and
I guess,
you know,
my whole life I've just been dealt card after card, like it's just another card.
Yeah, right. but you just rolling with it.
Roll with it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's definitely inspiring to, you know, to see that. Like honestly, I think that that's one of the biggest things, and to be honest, that's one of the things that I've noticed sets you apart in a way, because you know, for you probably feel disappointed when you, or I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you got on Wethepeople, you were like starting to hit your stride, even more so than what I'd seen you ride. You know, you were riding absolutely
I felt
incredibly.
Like I was progressing a little bit.
Yeah. And then, you know, you got dealt this thing.
Complete stop.
Yeah. But I think that that's partially, like, I know technically you get sponsored for being a good rider, and, you know, you continue to sort of trend in the upwards direction when you get sponsored. But to me, I think that this is like almost more inspiring to the average person than being a good rider. You know, like I think that there's things that people can take from this that they would never just get from you if you were just riding like normal. I mean, surely, obviously you're a really great rider and people love to see you ride at your pinnacle, but people love seeing you ride anyway, and then knowing the story that you've got.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think it's important that people understand that, like, any footage, anything that they've seen from you over the past year and a bit has been while you've been trying to deal with this stuff. Like, not to mention you've had some, you know, the Legion thing that you were obviously pretty worried about crashing on and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty epic, man. Danny.
Sorry, guys. My bad. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, man, just take inspiration from that, I guess.
Yeah, I do, man. Like I definitely do, and I think people will, for sure. Yeah, it's you feel like, you know, that road, you're still feeling optimistic, you know?
Yeah, well, I just last year I turned 30.
Yeah.
31 this October, and I feel like it's just a whole different thing. Like, once you turn 30, I feel like you just know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I had the same feeling when I turned 30.
Yeah.
I actually felt like all of a sudden I was like rejuvenated in a way, because I was like, well, yeah, you're starting to get older, but now you have this like real clarity of like, man, I really feel like I could still ride really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you have for yourself or.
Yeah, well, I feel like, because I know I've been riding 20 years.
Yeah.
And if you just got that in your mind all the time, like, you're going to have less crashes, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, you're still always going to have a crash, but no, you just kind of become immune to it. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. You kind of you don't see yourself as someone who you're not learning anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah, you are learning new tricks and things like that, but your base of skill is so much higher, and you've got so much more skill behind you that you just feel like almost motivated, because you aren't going to be like, you're not like some little kid that's just hucking and like,
yeah,
you know, you don't even know if you're going to land it. Like,
yeah, you kind of just dialing in your lines a bit better.
Yeah.
And just, yeah.
Yeah. I remember you were saying that this whole thing has kind of gotten you even more motivated with riding if you come out of it. You know, you were talking about you wanted to do a bunch of tricks still, like.
Yeah, I've still got a bunch of things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had the opportunity to do it, and like, I would have probably already done them by now if all this stuff wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Like, at Western, I've been eyeing off for a while. I got to do a foof on the back rail there, on the fence.
Oh, out of the round bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, that was probably the biggest thing I've done, and I wanted to just keep like topping myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's sick. Dude, that's awesome, man. I think I don't know.
Shout out to Punny for that as well. Like,
yeah. Punny.
That dude inspired me.
Yeah, he's the foof master. But nah, that's awesome, man. Like, I love that you are still motivated, or more motivated, it seems. Like, when I was talking to you the other week about, and you were saying, oh, I want to flip whip this and stuff, like, that's sick to hear, you know?
Yeah, well, like, I hate saying this, but I crashed right into the airbag.
Yeah, that's right.
But that made me feel like, dude, why don't you just do it over the jump? Because you know you got it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just, send it straight to dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, well, tell the story about the airbag.
Well, dude, I was like, everyone went over to the airbag. I was still riding the park. There was no one riding the park. So I was like, man, I'll go ride the airbag with them. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, I'm going to try the 3-whip because I haven't really landed one ever. Tried a 3-whip into the airbag, like full caught it, spotted the landing, and I was like real nosy into the airbag, kind of rolled forward onto my head. The airbag kind of grabbed my helmet, and then just like I just felt cracking and I was winded straight away. But that was an old injury as well, like, so I fractured some old fractures that were already in my neck from C7 C7 to C3 or something.
Yeah, right.
But then that really hurt as well, and that was on top of all the other stuff. So my bone density's down as well, so it takes a little longer to heal.
Yeah, wow.
So I'm
I didn't
in
know
a
that.
bunch of pain still from that.
Far out, dude. Yeah, the airbag we like Backbone put on we bought an airbag essentially just because we knew that Canberra didn't have an indoor skate park or anything like that, and we thought that it would be fun for kids to be able to use the airbag, and we took it to the skate park and had a jam. And Danny first run did this 3-whip that looks like he's been doing them forever. It was like off axis. It was sick. It looked like the way Pat Casey does them or something. Caught perfect. If there was a landing there, he seriously would have rode down it like it was butter. And unfortunately it was to an airbag, and yeah, he fractured his neck. But it was sick to see. But I feel like you have, the main thing that I wanted to, I guess, go back to with this whole thing is just that you've been so positive with it. Like, you know, you changed your Instagram name at one stage to Weapon Health.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to talk a little bit about what you were doing to try and, you know, keep your positivity high and the health high and things like that?
Yeah, so some of you may know my Instagram name was Weaponhead. And then all this stuff started happening, and I got a bit down and changed it to weapon death. And then I was kind of like, that's not really that positive. Like, it could be some bad juju around that. I don't know. So then I was like, maybe weapon health's a bit better. And might, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it was that for a bit. And then I always change my Instagram name. I don't know. I did feel like it's myself or something.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
like
know.
reflects how you are at that point in time or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like when you were doing the weapon health thing, it was pretty cool to see because you were just doing the best you could for, to support your healing, I guess. You were trying to eat well and you weren't really drinking or anything like that.
Tried to get that health kick going again.
Yeah, that's right. Which would have been hard, no doubt, And
yeah, like I still don't know if that's helping me or not. Like
yeah. It would be very, I guess, difficult to keep the faith on things like that. If it's been such a long time, like over a year is a long time.
And I've been on kind of a high dose of steroids as well, and that just kind of turns your world upside down.
Yeah, right.
Like real moody, you don't know what to eat really.
Far out.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else takes steroids who gets the same feeling, but yeah.
Yeah, wow. Dude, I didn't know, I knew you were on like different drugs and stuff like that. I knew you were on steroids to help with your conditions and whatnot, but like the moodiness, I would have never have thought that you were moody ever. So
And I might hide it, I don't know. I definitely, feel like I'm about to snap at some point.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just like, maybe I'll go to the trails and take my anger out on a pit or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, during this whole time, the whole I wouldn't even call it an injury. What do you call this type of? You just have a bit of a condition at the moment, I guess. Like
it's just a Aussie dude down on his luck.
Yeah, we can call it that. But any other person, I feel like you would not be mad at them, and you would totally understand if they just look, I'm sick. I'm really sick. I've got this condition that requires me to have fucking chemotherapy every 2 weeks or whatever. Like, you would not be expecting them to be doing anything. Like almost like you wouldn't be bummed at someone if they were like, look, I'm just hanging out at home. Like I'm just not riding. I'm trying to get better. But you have continued to ride to like a level that I feel like if people didn't know you were sick, they'd be like, yeah, Danny's shredding. Like, I didn't know that he was sick, So it's not like you're riding at this low level. But then on top of that, we actually started a trail spot together.
Yeah.
Last year too, which has been really sick.
Yeah, that spot, LOD, dude, that's helped me out a bunch with my mental state.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely been helping me through this.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I just love being at the trails.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, because, people didn't know, as like, you were forced to not work for a lot of this time too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because you can't, you
like, there's just too much stress.
Yeah.
At work, I feel like if I just give it a break and let my
right.
body heal, do some stuff that I love, and be good for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm really excited for when we film something together for We the People. It's going to be pretty sick, I think, like, because your story is an inspiring one, I personally think, and it's so fitting, that you have maintained this positive attitude the whole time, and now we've got like a set of trails that you started building when you was effectively sick, and it's sort of coming up into this point where we're going to be able to actually ride the line and things like that. I'm pretty excited. So
yeah,
but enough of the sick talk, I guess. Like, don't want to make you feel bummed talking to me
Yeah,
about
no.
this stuff too much.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to just talk a little bit about, you know, your history. You grew up on the Central Coast, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And when did you move to Canberra?
About 5 years ago now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You liking it here?
Man, I love it here.
Yeah, sick.
The scene, BMX scene, is just crazy.
Yeah, cool.
I feel like on the coast it was kind of dying off a bit, and seeing that you guys were just like killing it at the trails and stuff, so I thought I'd come and join forces.
Yeah. What made you? Did you come here for like a particular event or something like that?
Yeah, Act Jam.
So you,
2015.
Oh, no way.
When you guys had the red ramp at the Fisher shop.
Yeah. Far out.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So I snapped 3 sprockets that weekend.
Just casing.
Just getting back into the swing of things. Haven't really ridden anything apart from just a 7-foot quarter that's on the Central Coast.
Yeah, right.
Wethepeople.
At where?
Wethepeople skate park.
Okay.
Probably the only quarter you can air there.
Yeah, right.
They had a couple at Slam Factory as well, but
yeah.
Yeah, where were we going?
Oh, I just wanted to know why you moved to Canberra, or how it actually went down.
Yeah, so actually wind it back a bit. So Swanger actually.
Shout out to Swanger.
Yeah, shout out to Swanger, dude. Got me back into riding again.
Oh, really?
And held a jam at our old spot, and had a bunch of dudes there. So from there, I just always hit up Swanger and what jams are happening, what's going on, and he said going to Valley View, gonna go head out there, and I was like, maybe, things were lining up in my head, the scene's dying on the coast. I want to keep riding and visit a bunch of places, so why not move somewhere where it's all happening? Just chase my passion kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So then got a loan out, got a van, was all set up, bought it off my mate for $3,000.
Yeah.
And then packed everything up and went to Valley View first for a June jam, I think it was, and then from there moved straight to Canberra.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so Tomo and Dylan were doing the same thing as well, so I kind of was staying with them as well.
Yeah, right.
So the first night I moved here, our mate Tanger just took us under his wing straight away. It's don't live in your van, dude. It's the middle of winter. Come and stay at my house.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
But yeah, rest in peace, Tanger.
Yeah.
Love that dude.
Yeah, so wow. So Tanger, how did you know him?
Through Tommy Caldwell.
Okay.
So the first night I moved to Canberra, me, Tommy, Tanger and Jimmy, I think, were at Young and Frisky, and that's how we all met. And kind of just said, dude, you guys are staying at mine, I don't care what you say. Move in now.
Wow, what a legend.
Yeah.
That's sick. So you got you got a job in Canberra, I'm guessing, from that, or you just
so I was helping
cruising?
him paint.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude. And then he passed, and then I've been doing carpentry previously, but never really did finish my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So I started an apprenticeship with Tommy, and then just started doing carpentry from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished my apprenticeship at pretty much the same time I got on Wethepeople.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, Tommy Caldwell owns NBD Constructions, and he's actually helped out. He played a huge part in the 2021 Act Jam. But then not only that, he built that red quarter that you're talking about, right? So
yeah.
he built, I think it was an 8-foot quarter. Like,
I remember rocking up and just seeing like all the dudes building this ramp. I was like, I want to be a part of this.
yeah. So at the time, did you know Tommy when he was building that ramp?
No, I knew Hardy.
Yeah.
That was it.
Wow, far out, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's so funny that you know. I love that about BMX. I mean, Tommy is a skateboarder, but you know, a lot of BMXers have worked for him, and he just seems so down to support the scene and things like that. But it's so cool.
He's the best dude.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I know. Hey.
Yeah. He's a really good dude for sure. Yeah, I just really love that though. Like, it's like you rode the ramp that he built, and then you ended up working for him and completing your apprenticeship through him. Like, it's such a cool story just in itself, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Never really thought about it like that.
Yeah,
it's sick.
It is sick. It's really cool. Yeah, so before that, like, you were on the Central Coast, and we were talking about this the other day. You were, you know, building. You've just always been building trails, right? Yeah,
me and my mate Brian Starkey, shout out to Brian, he got me into riding.
Yeah.
We started a bunch of spots together. One that really standed out or lasted the longest was Emu. It was across the school, next to the school. So we just kind of, took over this block of land, really.
Yeah, right.
And our mate's dad had a bobcat, and we just kind of stacked up this lander and just had like one jump in the middle of in the block of land, and then that didn't get knocked, so we just kept kind of building more and more around it, and that was sick. But yeah, we built so many more spots that just we never even got to ride, like just because like we'd see a dude in there on the regular, like that was his walking track or something, and we were just like, oh, we can't really be here kind of thing. So yeah, Spring Creek was the most secluded spot, like it'd never get dozed or messed with. Well, that's what we thought anyway.
Was that the story that you were telling me? Dude, you got to tell that story.
So me and Scotty Greentree, Ben Ashcroft as well, Dave Western actually helped me find that spot. Shout out to Dave. But yeah, we're digging in there one day, and these dudes, they're like crackheads or something, must have been fishing in the creek, and they just like stumbled across us. And then they hit up Greentree for a cigarette, and he's like, I don't have any, like, and he just started like tripping out and like started fighting Greentree over that. And then I grabbed my shovel and went to walk over to try and stop it, and then I got a machete held to my throat, and I was like, oh shit. Like, yeah, that was pretty fucking scary.
Yeah. Yeah, you said you just watched.
I just watched Greentree get bashed, and then like had to watch him get bashed with a machete to my throat, and then they just kind of like disappeared. Oh, dude, no, what? It's all coming back to me.
Yeah.
So his kid was running up the landers.
The
fishing guy's kid was running up the landers, and we're like, oi, like get off the landers and stuff, and they were like yelling at my kid, bro, or something. And then that's how it all started.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, he shouldn't have been running up the Landers.
No.
But having said that, maybe let him go.
Yeah, but I didn't know they had a bloody machete.
Yeah, far out. That's so gnarly. It seems like there's just so much gnarly stuff that goes down at trail spots, man.
Dude, the Central Coast is, and trail spots in general.
Yeah. Man, that's so gnarly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think Green Tree does like martial arts now. He's like got his black belt and stuff, and
Yeah.
killing it.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, man, you'd probably feel like you had to do something after something like that went down.
Well, yeah, me, like, I don't know if Green Tree knows this, but me, my mate, because I was hanging out with some pretty sketchy guys as well.
Yeah.
But we followed them, and then I went to my mate's house and got a bow and arrow and kind of went back and like pulled up next to them and got out of the car with the bow and arrow just to kind of scare them, because like I didn't want them coming back to the spot, like scare them, get them out of there. But then they were with the girlfriend, and she's got a pram, and they pull out a hammer and start like chasing it. So we like get back in the car just in time. They're like swinging the hammer at the car and stuff, and like we get out of there. But then like just kind of, that dude must have been on crack or something, because he wasn't scared of the bow and arrow.
Yeah, man. Oh, far out.
Yeah.
That's so gnarly, dude.
It's a pretty gnarly one.
Man. Yeah, I feel like the crack, like the drug addicts just aren't fazed by anything like that, eh?
They don't care.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so gnarly. Yeah, I'm glad you moved out of the Central Coast by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly. I don't know if it's actually gnarly everywhere, but I'm not going to speak ill of it. Otherwise, I'll get chased next time I'm there. But it's been
sick. Like, Canberra is like so close. All the parks are so close.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I've had the same feeling when I moved here. Moved here after an Act Jam as well.
Yo.
But it was just 10 years prior to that, 2005.
Wow.
I actually thought that I was going to live at home until I was like 25. I was like, yeah, I'm going to live at home, save some money, blah, blah, blah. Came to Act Jam in 2005, moved here. I was 18.
Where from?
A country town called Broadford in Victoria. So the town had like 2,500 people in it, and like it was a cool town. I had some really good friends there, but it was just like a football town, or like get your trade and things like that. And at the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I didn't have very good grades because I just spent the whole of my year 11 and 12 just like riding BMX instead of doing homework.
Yeah.
And then I had some friends that rode, and friends in the next town. Well, when I say the next town about 100 kilometres up the road in Benalla. Do you know? Yeah. You know Campiana?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he lived like 100k north, and we just met each other through being in the same sort of region.
Yo.
And we all ended up becoming really good, quite good friends, like through that sort of region. There was like a crew of maybe half a dozen of us that rode, and we'd heard of Act Jam, and we were like, dude, let's come up to Act Jam. And then we get up here, and this was before Instagram, and even really before, not before the internet, but the internet, like I think I still had dial-up at home or something. Like it was slow as hell, so it's not like you're just getting news. Facebook didn't exist or anything.
Yeah.
And we came up just sort of hoping that we'd run into people, and we just missed. Like I feel like we were here and everyone was here, and then we'd go to here and everyone would go here, and then so we didn't even really see that many people, but yeah, it's pretty funny.
On your own mission, kind of.
Yeah, just on our own. And it was still the best time ever, like you come to Canberra and you're like, far out, all these parks exist in such a small proximity. They're all like off their head good. And this was when Belco was old Belco, and there was no Woden either.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, the parks were good, but not as good as they are now. And yeah, I was just like, it was all lining up, like what you said about your life.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just like, man.
Dude, that's just the path we're on, I guess. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that's...
everyone's just like congregated to what they want to do, and we've all kind of ended up in the same spot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like everyone that's just like, BMX is their passion. I feel like we all end up in the same sort of spot. And I feel like that even like on the weekend, we went to the Valley View Jam, or like the June Jam that Will Kerr puts on. Shout out to Will. But, that's in another small town. It's only a couple of hours from here, but like, I feel like everyone makes it happen because everyone is basically chasing the same dream. Like they just want to ride BMX, and they just want to ride like a certain type of BMX, or they just want to have a good time, and they're like sniff it out almost. You know what I mean? Like I met dudes there this weekend that I'd never met before, but they were all sick.
Yeah, I've never met the Radelaide crew before, and they're all sick.
Yeah, they were so sick. Yeah,
that's definitely been the biggest June Jam I've been to.
Yeah,
it's sick. I hope we're gonna have to build another house for Will.
Yeah, I know. Dude, he could seriously just have an Airbnb out there, I reckon, and people would... That's like...
The way it's looking, eh?
Yeah. The way it's going. It's sick out there. But yeah, I love that about BMX. Like, everyone just sort of... If you're into it enough, you'll just end up getting to where it's sick, And I feel like pretty lucky, pretty fortunate to have met you just through BMX, Like, I feel like we're good mates. Like, we wouldn't even need to ride bikes together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
to be
right.
mates, which is pretty sick. Maybe that's just the type of personality that happens when people love something so much. I don't know. Like, they all just want to hang out, Probably the same with Tommy Caldwell.
Yeah.
He's just...
We've got, like, similar interests. Not all the same, but...
Yeah. And everyone's just relaxed, you know what I mean?
So
like,
relaxed.
Yeah.
Like,
people just don't give a fuck, really.
Yeah.
Like, they just have this feeling of everything's easy, everything's just chilled. Let's just fucking have a good time. That's what it seems like BMX does to people.
Dude, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna speaking of the future. Well, let's just speak about the future for a second. What's your plans after? So you've got one more infusion.
Yeah, one more of those. Hopefully the CT scan shows that this vasculitis is gone.
Yeah.
And then even if it's not, I plan to just like accept it and just kind of deal with it and then move on a bit.
Yeah.
Because, feel like I'm down here where I should be up here.
Yeah.
Like, I know, I guess I'm going to keep working for Tommy.
Yeah.
Like, just dig at LOD a bunch more. Dude, maybe even get a passport and actually go travel somewhere.
Yeah,
now
cool.
that stuff's opening back up.
Yeah.
I haven't really put too much thought into the future because I'm still going through this medical stuff. But
yeah.
I definitely plan to do more trips and film more stuff and definitely way more BMX stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I think, I've definitely got my fingers crossed for you, but even if not, like if the vasculitis still hangs around, it sounds like you got the right frame of mind to deal with it regardless. And I think that if you jump back on not that you're not on the weapon health train, but it's not like you'd, being wild and irresponsible about it at all. But I think if you jump into trying to do the best that you can for your health in terms of nutrition and things like that, I think it'll help in the long run. It'll all help, definitely. Even if it's like 1% here and there, like it adds up.
See the benefits from that for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to, I'm excited that you're my good mate, and that I get to see, or be along for the ride with you. With the whole BMX thing and what happens, and even the trail spot. We're doing that together, and
Man,
you ride for Wethepeople and I ride for Wethepeople.
Just want to touch on that. I'm so glad to be teammates with you, because I know I see you send it, it makes me want to send it, kind of feed off each other. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, the trips and stuff that we've been on in the past have been sick to have that vibe. I get super inspired watching you ride, so it's really, really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm just excited for you in the future. Regardless of what happens with the vasculitis, I think that you're gonna be kicking goals anyway, and I'm excited for tomorrow. We're going on a bit of a day trip to go ride again, so that'll be cool. And is anything else you want to add?
Dude, just stay stoked. This isn't for me. This is for the general.
Yeah. Put it out there, dude.
Dude, stay stoked and do what you love, because at the end of the day, you got nothing else to do really. Just keep doing what you love.
Yeah.
I guess that's my main thing.
Yeah, man. That's 100%. I couldn't agree more. So I'm stoked, Danny, and thanks for coming on the podcast, brother.
Dude, anytime.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Hell yeah, man. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and do all the same jazz, subscribe.
And hit the notification
hit
bell.
the notification bell. We'll be back again, and just stoked to have you on. Awesome, Danny.
Sweet. Cheers, man.
See you, crew.